on Facebook. So thank you guys for spending a little bit of time with us here this morning. If you are a Hokies fan, a Virginia Tech alum, congratulations on making it this far. The women's basketball team proving they belong in the NCAA tournament and in the Final Four. They'll take on LSU later, and I know a lot of us here at 10 News are excited for that, so hopefully you guys are too. Douglas, good morning in Roanoke. Yeah, we've got the orange, we've got the maroon going. I'm an NC State alum, but I've got absolutely nothing against Virginia Tech. Love rooting for the Hokies whenever given the chance. So let's go ahead and talk more weather. I'd love to talk about sports as long as given the opportunity to do so, but let's get straight to it. Here's some of the headlines for what we're tracking as we go through the next few days. Warm today, temperatures in the 60s, and we'll see some periods of rain. So throughout this live stream, we're going to time those out for you between today and tomorrow. Strong wind gusts heading into tomorrow afternoon and evening. We'll show you how strong they get and what exactly that means for you. I think a lot of times we put numbers on things without ever talking about how it affects us, right? So we'll kind of change that script a little bit for you. And then calmer and pleasant by Sunday. But yes, it is an exciting time in Blacksburg and in Southwest Virginia. The notification just came up on my app that we are live on the 10 News app. So if you have a chance, go over there and watch the live stream there. Cheryl, good morning to you. Good morning to the rest of you watching. Temperatures in the 40s in Blacksburg, Dallas, Texas, the destination of the Final Four. They'll be in the low to mid 80s as Virginia Tech hopes to defeat the Tigers of LSU. All right, so we've got some showers out to the west, and you see some pockets of heavy rain embedded within that moving into East Kentucky. Wytheville is going to get some strong wind. Faith, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the timing, the wind speeds, everything like that coming up in a little bit. I'm going to work in chronological order just because of how this storm system goes from rain to wind. So for today, you see this batch of rain that's going to move through from west to east, and that's just going to be plain old rain. All right, no severe thunderstorm threat with that heading into the afternoon. We'll kind of back up the picture here, and what you'll see is a stronger storm system that is going to be feeding off some unseasonably warm and humid air, and that's going to lead to a regional outbreak of severe weather farther to our west. Alessandro, I would have to think that we'll have a high wind warning. That's something that the National Weather Service determines. It is not necessarily up to me, but oftentimes when you have a high wind watch, next thing that comes is a high wind warning naturally. So I do think that'll be issued at some point for Saturday. As far as severe thunderstorms, tornadoes, things like that, that threat is going to be higher well far to our west today. So here's what that storm system means for us. Again, we're tracking that batch of rain that's moving into Kentucky and toward the Cumberland Plateau, toward East Tennessee, toward Lee, Wise, Dickinson, Buchanan counties. That means some periods of showers for us, especially heading beyond about 11 a.m. If you have work today, school today, and you're coming back from that, you're probably going to be using the windshield wipers. There will at least be some light rain showers around from time to time. Again, severe thunderstorm threat. Don't have to worry about that on a day like today. Temperatures in the 60s. If you have late evening plans, if you're looking to do something outside around 8, 9, 10 p.m., showers are going to be very scattered. The severe thunderstorm threat, again, is going to be far to our west. And you can kind of see how this congeals into a squall line, and that stretches from as far north as Michigan. You can't really see that because of low pressure there, but it goes into Indiana, Kentucky, Tennessee, unfortunately Mississippi, where they're already recovering from those tornadoes not long ago. But there's that line, and what winds up happening is the line weakens. So no, we're not going to be looking at anything tornadic tomorrow morning, but we will see some pockets of heavy rain. And I'll kind of zoom in for you guys so we can time this out a little more carefully for you. Not sure why the zoom went so slow, but there you have it. Tomorrow around 6, 7 a.m., that line of heavy rain is moving into portions of the Highlands, the New River Valley, and then it's moving from west to east from there. So if you're watching from the New River Valley, from the Highlands, from the Roanoke Valley, I think most of your rain is done by 9 or 10 a.m. tomorrow. So most of the weekend is dry. It's going to be followed up by really strong winds. For south side, for Lynchburg, most of your rain is done, I would say, between about 10 and 11:30 tomorrow morning. Then comes the wind. And that's something I've been talking about since Tuesday. But this is not just going to be like your normal breezy day, whatever. These winds are going to be potentially strong heading into tomorrow afternoon. So you see, yeah, it's a little breezy at times, morning, midday. 20 to 30 mile an hour wind gusts around here is not that big a deal. But as we head deeper into the afternoon, you see those gusts in excess of 40 and 50 miles per hour. That's why the National Weather Service has issued this high wind watch. So for the New River Valley, the Roanoke Valley, and the Highlands, you have this high wind watch that's in effect throughout the day. Saturday, the windiest time of day, probably after 1 or 2 p.m., and then lingering into the evening. So you're thinking, okay, you told me 40 to 55 mile an hour wind gusts. You can't really picture what that means sometimes. Sometimes, again, we just throw out numbers and expect you to know what that's going to look like. In a case like that, you have the potential for some down limbs. So you may be doing some cleanup beyond Saturday in the yard from some twigs, some limbs. Hopefully not any trees, but that can't be ruled out, especially with an older root system or especially Bradford pears. Those are some pretty weak trees. Power outages are a possibility. We saw that last Saturday in parts of the area with some wind damage that had happened. Brush fire threat, I can't rule that out either, just because humidity levels will be dropping as the wind is staying high. But again, as far as tornadoes, that threat is going to be low. If you can kind of see past that and be like, all right, wind is wind, whatever, doesn't really affect me much. If you can see past that, it's going to be a nice afternoon. If by some chance you're a restaurant owner and you have some like umbrellas and things like that, I would probably take those in before tomorrow. If you've got hanging baskets, hummingbird feeders, lightweight trash cans, basketball nets, trampolines, things like that, weigh them down, bring them inside before tomorrow's wind gets strong. If you can see past that, though, tomorrow's a warm day. Temperatures mostly 75 to 80 degrees. So outside of the wind, nice to be outside. Not going to be too humid out there. Sunday's going to be nice and pleasant. Yeah, a little on the breezy side, but not quite as strong as Saturday. Not quite as warm either. Temperatures make it into the low to mid 60s. So no matter what the case may be, what your plans may be, you can always take us on the go with our weather app. That is where we are currently streaming this broadcast right now. But I also want to start looking ahead toward Easter weekend. Leading up to that, this is the Climate Prediction Center's 6 to 10 day outlook. The left-hand side of your screen is the temperature. The right-hand side is precipitation. What we're going to notice next week is the wind coming in out of the southwest. That naturally brings in some warmer air. So especially Tuesday and Wednesday, I'm forecasting high 70s and even some 80s. And that is probably going to lead up toward Good Friday. And perhaps into Easter Sunday, it looks like temperatures may moderate a little bit, but it does look as though we'll be warmer than average. We'll be wetter than average, especially by Wednesday and Thursday. I think we see some scattered showers and thunderstorms just again as we continue to pull the air in out of the southwest. So that's just kind of an early estimate as to what we're looking at Easter Sunday. If I were a betting man, I would say highs Easter Sunday, low to mid 60s in the mountains, about 65 to 70 everywhere else. As far as rain chances are concerned, it's going to take a little more time for us to feel any more confident about that. But just kind of wanted to give you a little bit of an idea as to what to expect as we get closer to next Sunday. So again, for today, just to kind of wrap things up and put a bow on this, you're looking at temperatures in the 60s with occasional showers moving in from the west. Most of these are going to be after 11 a.m. or so. The afternoon pretty wet at times, but then as we head deeper into the evening after sunset, looks like our showers will be pretty minimal, pretty isolated. Tomorrow morning is our wettest time of day by 9 to 11:30. That's when you see things clearing from west to east. We're warm, but we're very windy tomorrow afternoon. By Sunday, we're still breezy, not quite as warm, but pleasant. I plan on spending part of the afternoon outside on Sunday. Temps in the low to mid 60s. Monday's beautiful. Tuesday's warmer with a partly cloudy sky. Wednesday's when we may start to see some isolated showers and rumbles of thunder because of the unseasonable warmth that we'll have at that point in time. All right, so I appreciate you guys spending a little bit of time with us here this morning. The time is 7:44. We've been going at this for about 10 minutes now. There's a look at what we're tracking, kind of our cliff notes and abridged version to the forecast. We've got so many more details on WSLS.com. We're also going to continue with team coverage of the historic Hokies chase to the championship, the women's basketball team in the Final Four this evening. We have a crew in Dallas. We have a crew here at home working for you guys to get you hyped up and hopefully ready for a championship run. Hokies taking on LSU this evening. A lot of us in our orange and maroon today, hoping for the best for the women's basketball team. Have a great rest of your Friday. Stay weather aware here these next 1 to 2 days, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care.